My name is Alex Lombard. I'm a 26-year-old digital entrepreneur. I live out here in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm originally from the Midwest, out in the tundra, Michigan, for anyone that is going through the pain right now watching this. I know it's really cold out there. But yeah, I live out here in Scottsdale, and I'm really big in the digital space. So I have kind of two companies. One of them is geared towards kind of the personal brand side of things around myself. So doing like interviews like this and podcasts and, just doing that whole world of growing my own presence online and creating exposure for myself. It's called Vision Wall Inc. And it's attached to my Instagram following, where I have two accounts that reach over 1 million people organically on Instagram. And so that's the first thing. The second thing I do is what's called Invigorate. It's a digital marketing agency. I have a couple partners involved with that with me. We started almost 2 years ago now. We did, just shy of $500,000 last year. We'll do well over, 2 million this year, which is so amazing to be able to say. And really quick, it's super easy. It's broken into two components with our company. The first side of it is like digital marketing for small business owners. So helping, business owners out there who need help expanding online. So like reviews and ads and just anything you can think of when it comes to digital marketing for like a traditional business. That's that side. And then the other side of the business, which is where I spend most of my time, is what we call the influencer creation side of things. And basically we just help people go out there and become legit influencers online. Our number one client is like a multi-millionaire in different industries like real estate or network marketing or insurance or whatever. And then helping those people take their real life credibility and then portraying that through a legitimate brand online. So that's kind of, a little bit about me and a little bit about, our companies. And then just within all of that, I do a lot of like investing, speaking gigs, and as well as like consulting primarily for like social media. So so that's a little bit about myself and some highlights. So
I love it. That sounds like you have quite the large amount of experience under your belt. So that's quite nice. Now, with everything that you've done, if you were to restart back from zero, what would your shortcut to success be?
Yeah, really
where you are now.
Yeah, that's an awesome question. So it's funny because when I was younger, I started my journey when I was 21 years old. I'm actually about to be 27 next month. And one of the biggest mistakes that I personally made when I was younger was as soon as I got into entrepreneurship, I quit my day job. And it's funny because, a couple years ago, if you would have asked me, I would have still stuck to that and been like, yeah, quit your job, just run with it, go all in. But after like really reviewing that and the experiences I went through, to be honest with you, you need cash flow, man. You need money coming in to support what you're doing, and I went through a very hard time. I mean, I was literally broke as a joke for a very long time, but I was just I convinced myself so much that if I got a job, that I would never pursue my dreams. And that may be true. And if that is you, then, maybe you go and do that. But honestly, for me, if I was to start all over, a couple things. Number one, I would have kept my job a little bit longer. Because to be real, when you start your entrepreneurial journey, you're not putting in 100 hours a week, you're just starting out. And so you have time and you need to make money to pay your bills so that when you do make money from your ventures that you're involved with, you're not using that money to now pay your bills, right? Because now you're just kind of going backwards. And so I would stick with your job for a little bit, or at least find some way to get some sort of cash flow. And then the second thing that I would recommend for myself, if I was to go back, would be to truly actually study the greats in whatever industry. I started in the network marketing space. And so studying people in that industry, that are crushing it and actually learning what they're doing, both legends, but then also modern day people that are, killing it right now with social media and things like that. So studying them and then actually applying it, actually going and taking the action that you've learned and then staying consistent with it. One of my biggest issues that I had was the consistency. I would start something, then I'd move on to something else, then I'd move on to something else, then I'd move on to something else. And I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs do that because it's like grass is always greener on the other side, right? They see a new opportunity, new shiny object, and they run with it. Pick something, maybe you have to do that a few times to kind of figure out what you like and are passionate about. But once you do find that, staying consistent and applying the information that you're learning from people that are just, doing really well. And then the last thing I'll throw in there is just, having solid goals. When I first started my journey, I set goals. Everyone has a different approach with this, but for me personally, I used to set goals just so big and it sounded so great. But at the end of the day, I never believed that I could actually do it deep down. I would just pretend that I, would get excited on the forefront. But therefore, since I didn't actually believe it, I was literally pushing away the goal and I never would accomplish them. And then I'd get upset and it'd be like this vicious cycle. And so now, even to this day, I set attainable goals that still get me excited though. you know, like they're still big enough to where if I actually did go accomplish that, I would be progressing in my field of expertise or like my business. But they're not like these crazy goals that like, there's just no chance I'm ever going to hit that, you know? So really just setting realistic goals for yourself, you know, with a realistic timeline, I think would be really big. If I was to start over, those are some of the things that I would do.
There we go. I love it. Those are some solid tips without a doubt.
Cool, man.
Perfect.